If anyone has any opinions they want to add, please let me know. I will definitely take it into consideration. However, whether I listen is a completely different story. Oh shit indeed, Simon, we're doing this. It is happening, it is doing it raw. Bad opinions coming up, bad opinions indeed. Because they're my opinions. And my opinions are bad. Bad fucking ass, baby. Check this shit out. We've got him here. We've got Fraud, CBAS, S+, Ultra, Omega, level IDs. So, without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? So, first off, let's not beat around the bush. We're putting Malphite in Ultra Omega level ID. Now, I have my own personal favourite in Lay Salt, but when you think of Season 6, you think of Malphite. Single-handedly broke the game. Okay? Broke the game. In fact, she broke the game so bad, people believed she was nerfed. Which I'm pretty sure she was, wasn't she? I know she definitely nerfed, or was the cause of Talisman Sinclair to be nerfed. Still pretty decent, but he's nowhere near as good anymore because of a certain somebody. But when you think of Season 6, Malphite is definitely the one who goes, you're in danger. She is the one who knocks. She is the Sung Jinu of this season. Oh, what's enough? Okay, that was it. Do you know why they didn't nerf Malphite? She's unnerfable. That's how good she is. Like I said, Ultra Omega level ID. She does everything you want in a team. She is the team. Raw damage, check. Rupture, check. Positive count, believe it or not, check. Death right. In fact, Malphite is so fuck-bustedly good that every subsequent Heisu ID that came out after the fact was shit. They're not good. Much. I mean, the part of the Heisu, so they are good. They're basically hard carried by Faust. And it's not even like a difficult hard carry. They're just hard carried. So now, let's really dive deep, okay? Let's talk about the CIDs. This is all personal opinion, by the way, so this is all personal opinion. I think Roger is an S+ tier unit. And I say this for one simple reason. We go over to the skill tree, we check it out. It's attack weight 3, and it gains more coins. Yeah, gain clash power equal to serpent arm. I'm pretty sure it says somewhere. There we go. On crit, we use this skill coin once, 2 times per skill. So she goes 5 times. And I believe it's the only AoE outside of Egos that the Heisu team possesses. In fact, let me go fix this team real quick. I just realized. The only one we're missing is a Mercer, but that's going to come later on. But it's not just that. She's easy to gain crit. I believe she's count neutral, count positive. Not up type 3, obviously. And this is a good indicator as well of the difference in power level between 2 IDs of the Heisus. I only have 2 of them up type 4. Because those are the only 2 you need to up type 4. Obviously, you don't need them. Anybody up type 4, it just helps. Also, a little bit of swag, a little bit of pizzazz. Okay? And then we got C. Greg. I'll be honest, I don't really like him that much. I think he's a lot... For me, when I think of Greg, I think focus and counters. He wants to really ramp up his poise and then do the big skill free for an insane damage there and then. And if he doesn't do it, then you just kind of rinse and repeat and it stacks up and it's just... It takes a while to get going, whereas Roger's just, okay, I'm going to skill free now and just go from there. So there's a big difference there. This pains me to do. Because although I really, really want to put him in Ultra Omega level ID, I think he's only S+. I agree Roger's better, but most by 1 tier. Okay. I'm worried people are going to see this as rage bait, so... And you know what? Actually, before we talk about Honglun, let me talk, and I'm glad you brought this up, Simon. Here's why the Heisus are some of the best IDs in the game. Because even though I've said, I don't like the way Gregor works, I'm not a big fan of his playstyle, he wants to ramp up for the damage, Let's leave S plus for the other good IDs of the season. You know what, that's fair. I was going to buff him up. This is what makes it difficult, because you could easily say he's S, you could easily say he's A. Both work. You know what, yeah, you're right. You're right, let's put it there. I'm happy with that. Because I say this on the assumption that 1, you're in Mirror Dungeon and you've replaced all her skills with skill freeze. Or 2, he's doing his skill free to make her go. So speaking of the Lord of Honglu, Lord of Hongyuan, I always say that. That's so embarrassing. Do you want to know why he's not an Ultra Omega level ID? It's because although what he does is really good, he does too much of good thing. That's a poor way of putting it. Let me try and explain that differently. He's really fucking good. I mean really good, consistent, good poise application, good rupture. He synergizes really well with a team, makes the team synergize in a certain way. The downside is, he locks you out of a certain kind of playstyle if you play him by using a defense skill. Now, this here, because it swaps them out, it makes your allies go yeet. So you could, maybe Malfaust is low in HP, the lowest ID in HP, so she fucks off. And someone else comes in and you've lost the biggest chunk of damage that the Jesus have. They're still going to do insane amounts of damage because they're all good, to an extent. But he's going to really suffer from it. Also, he's really low HP and he wants to be protected. And he's trying to do too much. And I think he suffers from that. Plus, at least for me, I ain't reading all that. He did, however, gain his own ego that he rewrites how that works. Because of his passive, and it's just super weird. It's not weird, but you get the gist, hopefully. So that's why he's in S+. I'm pretty sure someone else could probably, do a better explanation for me down in the comments, hopefully, maybe, please. But no, he's still decent. He's still one of the best IDs this season. I'd argue maybe top 3 ID. Maybe 3rd best ID of the game. Of Season 6, I should say. And now we get controversial, I suppose. This isn't ragebait, by the way. This is legit just my experiences playing the characters. I'm going to be honest with you. I think these guys are so bad. And yes, this is ordered. These two. At least he's better than him. At least he does more and has a self-revive. Sinclair just kind of sneezes on the enemy and hope that works. It's not good. Great self-count, I suppose. Maybe. One thing they were going for them. And it's one thing I don't... it's one reason why I don't like the CIDs. Because I've not up-type forward them. You want to get this for Glut Res, because the Jesus really work with it. At least these two have gluttony skill defenses. Or clashable counters, I should say. Rather than guards. Like Wu Clang and the Seas. Wu Clang? I was thinking of Wu-Tang Gang. Never mind. They're strong in burn and for clearing slash XP looks. Yeah, but here's the thing with slash XP looks. You can just skip them. At least in burn, they are pretty good for burn. They are strong for burn. I'd say Heathcliff in A, Sinclair in B. I'm not going to give you Sinclair in B. Heath in A. If we're talking Heathcliff in A, for burn, I will give you that. If we're talking Heathcliff in a Jesus team, C. I do not fuck with Sinclair. I really wanted to fuck with Sinclair. I don't think he does enough. I really don't. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm going to put Roju in C tier because I have no idea how she works, but she's a charge ID. But you need both because you swap between them using Honglu. Well, I'm a bit weird in that regard, because here's how I play my burn team. With the full stop office duo. For some reason, this guy. So I'm a bit weird in that regard. But even then, it's just, even if you are using them, I'd much rather just have Heathcliff in and Sinclair, and I wouldn't even try and use him. But no, Rainclear Roju's there because, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and in fact I can just go and double check that. Yeah, she's a charge unit, that's why. That's why she's in C. She's C for charge. Speaking of C, I'm not even going to try and talk about this one. I'm just going to show you why she's in C. Behold, She-Faust's gameplay. You activate that skill. That's all you activate. Strictly Where's Codion, exactly. And more on her in a moment. But yeah, She-Faust, this is it. This is how you play She-Faust. Until eventually, you do this. Now, thankfully, in fact, do you know what? You know what? I'm going to bump her up a tier. Because at least she's really simple. At least you know exactly what to do with her. Defend for like 4 turns. And then big skill. Let's talk about Night of Despair Roger, okay? I think she's an Ultra Omega level ID. Only if, and if I go and get it real quick, you have the Rhyme Skank ego. Only then. If you ignore her arrow gimmick, She-Faust becomes an A-tier bleed unit. You know, I wish I could do them twice. Oh, too bad bleed already has like 9 S-tier units or higher. You know what, yeah, real quick, let's go back to that. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 IDs already better than her. I don't have the rest of them. But I'm pretty sure if I leveled it up, Hook Office would be better than She-Faust. But yeah, back to Night of Despair Roger. Rhyme Skank. Or Rhyme Shank. Why did I say Skank? What am I thinking of? But shit's good. I think with it, she becomes an Ultra Omega level ID threat. Without it, I think she's fucking top tier. There's not much I can say. Both her modes are good. In fact, if we go back real quick, we're doing a lot of swapping, I've just realised. And bear in mind, yes, she is a World Purchase ID. I should knock a tier off because it's a World Purchase ID. Of course it's going to be fucking good. It's World Purchase. It has to be. It's the big spending event. But you can get IDs for free with because it's a spending event. You're spending boxes. You love about that. Both her modes are really fucking good. You know, you go into Blessing, you go into Despair. If you're positive sanity, you're more defensive. If you're negative sanity, you're more offensive. In fact, it's a shame I can't do it twice. So, here's how I do it. Negative Night of Despair Roger. Easy Ultra Omega level ID. She's a threat. She's gonna fucking decimate enemies. If you play more defensively, more tanky, S+. That just is what it is. But we're gonna go here because more often than not, you are just using a guard skill, going from there. I mean, she can swap between the two as well, which is really nice. It's just, it's a bit tricky to do it. It's not tricky, but managing negative sanity, which she does, thankfully, with her own passive. She can't go below 40 via internal means. It's mostly through external. So things can get tricky if you're fighting a singing enemy. Like that stupid little frog. I'm a bit torn on this guy. Because I really do think he is an S-tier unit. He does not play like an S-tier unit. Like, you read his kit and you think, wow, that's really good. In fact, let's go read his kit, because I think it's pretty decent. So, for a start, he fixes Ishmael, or Fraud Mail, or Zuchin Ishmael. I can already see a certain hateful comment right now because I called a Fraud Mail. I'm sorry. Fixes a big problem. Fixes. There's Command and Cry, which gains 3 offense level at this turn. And once again, in true Limbus fashion, there's a lot to read. There's Line Breaker, which they fixed as well, because changing Starblade and Strider and all that, like enhanced Skull Freeze, turned out to be a bit of a problem. Thank you, Malfaust, we appreciate that. But when he gets it off, fuck me, this shit is so insane. You know, 4 Unbreakable Coins, I believe it could be 5. Maybe? But yeah, Trigger's Tremor Burst, Concussion, which is a really nasty effect. Once again, should have been a Death Right effect, but once again, thank you, Malfaust, you ruined it for everybody. The problem is, I never feel like playing him in a Jesus team without Fraud Mail. And having her in the team brings the team down, in my opinion. Because without him, it feels super weird, and you want to swap. He's one of the only times, once you do, and more in this later, but once you do Zuchin's Retreat, having Wusang in the team, you really want to swap him out. But you can't, because not only does he have a really tanky HP, but he gains a fucking shield. And they have to get through. And he's really good at applying that shield to himself. He's a great tank unit. So as a tank, he's S tier. Everywhere else, he's A tier. And it pains me to do it, but he's got to be there. Because like I said, you know, let's just jump the gun a little bit. She's Shunshower. She is the potential woman of this season. Sorry, she is one of the potential units this season. Look, I'm not going to talk about this unit too much. I've already talked about it with Wu-Sang. Long story short, there's a reason they released him with his own passive that buffs her up. That's how bad she is. Fun unit, don't get me wrong, fun unit, but nah, not for me. Speaking of fun units that aren't for me, yeah, in you go, little pup. Saying that, she does have some synergy. And by that I mean, if we check her skill tree, it is a Gloom skill tree. I believe it's... okay, it's Otis. Has a Gloom skill tree. Moja has a Gloom skill tree. So there's some, you know, res chances there. That's roughly about it. That's all I can really say about it. I believe Shattermark is pretty nice. The passive's pretty cool. Passive's pretty cool. I won't lie. Let me go read Shattermark real quick. Just I want to make sure. Once again, should have been a death right effect. Yeah, take 10% damage from Gluttony and Gloom skills. That's pretty much all she's good for. I don't think the sinking's really that good. Much, because you're already winning clashes, you're faster, you're doing more damage. She's basically a win more unit. When you swap her in, it's like, okay, I've swapped out my Sea Branch Ryoshu. Sure, I guess she's there. Anyway, Malfaust, go and kill. Once again, thank you, Malfaust. You perfected that for us. See, I think she's C. This one's not, it's not ordered yet, by the way. We might do that after. Okay. This isn't ragebait right now. I'm being completely honest. This is one of my biggest regrets in the game. Both her and Viego. And what worries me about saying this is people will be going, why is she in B tier? Why is she like S tier? I don't know how she plays. I really don't. At least with Night Despair Roja, after playing her more often, I've gotten the hang of her. With her, I've still got no idea what she does. And it's really scary. I know she's powerful. I know she has the potential to be really good. My big issue is she's an Envy Res unit. So you need a lot of Envy Res units. But that's not really the best right now. It's very much... she's difficult to play. And when you do get her off, it just doesn't feel worth it in my opinion. But the ego is cool. The ego is probably like an S tier ego. It's pretty fucking powerful. I'm gonna save these for a little bit later because I've got an entire team built around her. But if you do, she deals comical damage. Exactly. Envy Res team up here. Without Envy Res down here. I could be lenient and go here, but honestly, now that I've said it, yeah, I'm gonna rage bait a little bit. Fuck it, why not? Alright, speaking of frauds, you get in there. Let me tell you why he's a fraud. Before anyone goes, oh, you just hate Sinclair. I mean, yeah, kind of. Here's a burn team. Here's my burn team in particular, right? I want you to just look at two of the units I've got. Okay, have you seen them? Do you know where they are? It's the Full Stop office. Do you know why they're there? Look at this. Pride skill. Pride skill. And two pride skills. Well, 3 if you count the defense. He's really good for Thumb Salt because he can let you reload and whatnot. And his passive 4 res. In fact, when he's on the field, 3 pride res. So where the fuck are his pride skills? Am I missing something here? In fact, if you uptie 4 as well, there's... who's uptying 4 this unit? In a burn team. Without any pride skills. He's a fucking fraud. He's not a fun member, he's a dick. Fix this shit. He's a fraud fucking ass unit. Ask how you've been. Armless, thank you. How have I been? I'm getting angry at fucking Fumclair right now because he's a twat. In full every res, she's maybe S. Maybe S. Okay, no, that's probably a fair saying that about Don. But this unit, man. Oh, he gets me angry. Like, he should have an amazing synergy with the rest of the Burn team, as well as Fumsol. It's clear they've made this unit with Kanto 9, Season 7 in the future, where we're going to probably get more Fum support. But for right now, he's a fraud. And even after the fact. In fact, here's why he's a fraud. Both the full stop office, here, ally with the most ammo deals 10% damage with skills. For sure, Heathcliff reloads ammo for the skill. Yeah. Oh no, you gain ammo. You gain poise. There we go. I'm getting all my words started because I'm rambling right now. Both of those passives are better than his one passive. That was tailor-made for this unit. He's a fucking fraud. Also, Arbalist, hope you're having a good day. Hope you had a wonderful Christmas. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it. So with Otis, I'm going to be honest, I don't have this unit. I've seen her played in a Tremor team. I believe she's hard carried by Tremor, because Tremor's fuck-busted insanely good. That's all I've got. I will put her in B tier, because I know somewhere someone's going, damn, Otis. So, speaking of frauds, that might be a bit unfair. In fact, let me talk about this a little bit. At least to my understanding. And in fact, no, I can use this as a good example. So, Drifting Blade Ryoshu counts as or is treated as a Heisu pack during a certain skill of Hong Lu's. That's not really worth using because it goes against how the Heisus play. But she's treated as a Heisu unit for that one particular skill. The problem is, this Season 5.5 unit, I believe she came out during a Nocturnal Sweeping event, is just infinitely better in every single way. Now, sure, she's a poise monster with a great skill 3 eventually at some point because of all the poise she can get. But that's really about it. The Rupture's nothing to write home about. Yeah, it's like, sure, cool. I just don't think she's it. You play Malbranch, or you're doing some weird follow-up team that Jex and Pierre posted and you thought, hey, that's really good, I'll try that, because I know I've done that myself. Did not enjoy it. But no, I think she's a fraud. I really do. Anyway, Fraud Bullet. He's called Fraud Bullet because he's a fraud. Do I need to say more? He's another bleed unit, by the way. Where... not even bleed. He's on the bleed team because he pairs nicely with N-Corp Ryoshu, which is fine until you realize N-Corp Ryoshu doesn't need Spell Bullet. Like, his gameplay gimmick sucks. Torn Memory is just a pain in the ass to manage. Indiscriminate attacks where you can't decide where it goes is never fun. On a Corroded Ego, it makes sense because they've lost their fucking minds. But this guy is just, nah, I don't really feel like it. Fuck. You saying you're a dick. Fuck you. I think she's S. I think she's S. She's most likely A though. Maybe. If you compare her to a bleed team, it is sure. Like, she's going to do fine in it because bleed. I believe she's got a bit of tremor as well. So once again, she's carried by 2 status effects. At least in terms of keywords. She's her own dedicated ego. Her own wah. Like, in saying like Waluigi. Which is nice. Managing the gaze and then contempt of the gaze, or gaze of the contempt, whatever it's called. It's not that difficult. I believe in a focus encounter, she is definitely at least minimum S. In a non-focus encounter, I think she's an A tier unit. And in fact, I feel comfortable putting her in A. Does anybody disagree? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Okay, that's time. She's A tier unit. Glad we've all agreed. Speaking of A tier units, I'm going to put Alan Gregg there. No. Wait. Before you start typing, excuse me, my good sir, but what in the fuck have you put Alan Gregor in A tier for? I think he's got the same problem Ryoshu does. For a targeted encounter, for a boss encounter, fantastic. Outside of it, you lose one of the big parts, and I have this unit, so let me go pull this up real briefly. His whole gimmick is inflicting open wound, and then using this to deal insane amounts of damage. Because with deep wound. I'm ready to convert deep wound into fatal wound. Good for a boss, but you have to attack the same target and apply it to the same part and whatnot. And he has a follow-up attack as well, twice I believe. Pretty sure it does. Hold up, let me just double check that. Yeah. We use 2 times per turn. Great for a boss. And I guess for smaller mobs. But if you get smaller mobs, you lose out on some of the kit. And he's a weird balancing act unit. And he's fine, he's fun, don't get me wrong. He's, like I said, or like I'm going to say right now. Against the boss, easy S. Maybe S+. Against mobs, he's kind of A. So I would feel comfortable putting him in S tier. Not just because the egos really help. I really should put another tier actually. But from what I've played with Hanafuda, she's not as complicated as I thought she was. She really isn't. I thought, okay, this is going to be a tricky one. You have to discard a skill to match the corresponding unit, or like the corresponding skill, and unlock the big Kozen skill, I believe it's called. It was a little bit confusing. It was a little bit, okay, this isn't as bad as I thought it was. And I'll be honest, I feel comfortable putting her roughly S, very, very top of A. It all depends on how you play, because this is a very skill-dependent game, obviously. And by skill-dependent, I mean you strategize how you use the skills. And if you do that correctly, she's S. If you don't do that correctly, like me, she's A. So from my gameplay perspective, I think she's A. But from what I've seen of others, she's definitely S. Absolutely. We got 3 more units to go. This has kind of flown by very quickly. But now we're about to yap. Because I've kind of saved the best for last. So, let's not beat around this bush any longer. I think he's S+. I think, actually better yet, I know what you're thinking. Why is Prince Mursol in S+, and not in Fraud? Well, that's because, unlike his Uptight story, he's actually pretty good. Now, his Uptight story is a bit of a pussy, let's be honest. Man saw one dude with a flamethrower and decided, nah, that's not for me, I'm out, I'm gonna dip. He's brought something to the bleed team that I think was missing for the longest time. And that was, honestly, some more consistency with Lust Res. And also not just pairing with the fact that Yearning Makala's finally decent.
Are you sure about that?
I need to change this to Capote. But finally it's decent. This is really fucking nice. He has great synergy with Princess Roja. In fact, one thing I've noticed as well. So, this skill 2. On self and 1 ally with the least max HP. Which, by the way, is going to be Manager Don, no matter what, because she's 182, but she heals on, I believe, every skill. Whereas these are only just skill 3s. He does the same on his skill 1. They swapped it around with Prince and Princess. He does a lot of buffing. He does Hard-Blood armor, which is insane and really easy to get. That's what I appreciate. With the Lamanchalan units, the Blood Fiends, a lot of them are very tricky in managing, I believe it's called Blooming Thorns, or Blooming Thorn for Princess Roja, the Blooded Finger for Priest. Hard-Blood armor is just, hey, activate Lust Res, get this. Yeah, the Lamanchalan unit with max Hard-Blood armor, gain focus performance, he just buffs them up. And I believe as well, if the Princess Lamanchalan Roja is on the field, she and the Prince deal 50% more damage with their skill 3s, including the empowered versions. It's fucking insane. The synergy is amazing. And yes, I do have the Bleed Ego for Rodion. Finally, it's one of the things I got from Walpurgis. Once again, not this. This is insane. I need to uptie for it, but I can't do it yet because that shit is expensive. Overall, it's easy S+. I actually believe, and this is, I can't believe I'm saying this, you can run him in a team like this without Priest. That being said, I don't know why he wouldn't run Priest. he's a pretty good fucking unit. But this is about Bruce. This is about this guy. Overall, easy S+, in my opinion. Who knows? Going forward, he might drop down. He might not. Who knows? I'm smiling for this one because I'm debating whether to do more salt for lay salt first or W Corp Heathcliff. Hey, you know what? You know what? I'm gonna save the best for last. I'm gonna get my meme pick out of the way first. God, I really want to put him there. Okay, no, fuck it. Let's get the joke out of the way. I think it's an Ultra Omega level ID. Now, before you say, oh my god, why, what the fuck are you doing? Moon, how you doing? Dab me up, you're just in time for me to not rage bait. Because this is, I'm being serious now. If we go over, and I believe it's, I could have just picked any of them actually now I think about it. W Corp Heathcliff is really fucking good, okay? I loved this Sogo, right? I loved this solo. Okay? AEDD gives him so much survivability and charge count that he generates. The only downside, with two big downsides, right? With W Corp Heathcliff. Firstly, charge count is a little bit, it's not the best, it's not the worst. But obviously passives can help supplement that. Passives can help supplement that, there we go. Also, this passive is insane. You know, spend charge count, heal 2.5% max HP, survivability for a solo. Really fucking good. His big problem is when you use a defense skill, you enter overcharge, so you're basically left wide open. So the early turn survivability is a little bit, ooh, maybe not. He's the most fun solo I've probably had so far. He's probably the most fun I've had as a solo. And there's the second issue. If he's a solo unit, Ultra Omega level ID, better than Mouthhouse, better than Kit, Knife Despair Road, he's the best ID in the game for a solo. Most fun, abso-fucking-lutely. The second you put him with another unit, bro is in B tier so fucking hard it's insane. The drop-off is dramatic. In fact, you add more, he just goes down even further. Solo-wise, perfection. Couldn't ask for a better unit with better egos to help him. In a W Corp team, in a charge team, in fact, he could be in C for charge like the other charge unit. He's so fucking good. And he sucks at the same time. How does that work? I'm gonna compromise. I'm gonna put him in S tier. Fuck everyone else. That's my opinion. S tier unit. S for solo. Perfect. Now. We're getting to the final one. We're getting to the biggest ID of the season. The absolute undisputed champion of all that is fucking aura farming and peak raw damage. Lay Salt. And it should come as absolutely no surprise to anybody. But obviously, he is an Ultra Omega level Dragon ID threat. In fact, we could keep adding some. He's a Nuclear Ultra Omega solo leveling Dragon level Demon Slaying Infinity Castle ID-esque unit. In fact, if I was to order this, he'd just be there and everyone else would be enthralled to it because he is the man, the myth, the legend himself until he runs out of bullets. Now, hold up. Best fucking ID in the game. And then he ran out of bullets. And then he kind of drops off. If I'm leaving unbiased aside. In fact, no, he's a bit of a weird one, right? So, here's why I think he's weird. At the start, you load in, you have Tiger Mark rounds. So with Tiger Mark rounds, he's an S+ tier. And then eventually, whether you run out of bullets or you just use a defense skill to swap over to Savage Tiger Slayer, and you've spent more over the course of it, he then becomes Ultra Omega level ID. Absolutely fuck busted. Insane even. Better than Malfaust. I'm just going to say, better than Malfaust with those 8 bullets. With those 8 rounds. And then, you run out of them. And you gain overheat. And you see here, like, oh, lose base attack skills, lose cumulative number amount, clash power. He gains more survivability, you know, rounds down, deal HP percentage, blah, blah, blah. And that right there is where he goes back down into S2. And it sucks. The thing is, the fight rarely lasts long enough for all the rounds to run out. I'm glad you brought it up first time, Chad. Jazz hands just for you. That's right. The fight barely lasts long. Unless you're doing a solo, unless you're doing the mirror match on 8:30. No spoilers there. I mean, that was a spoiler, but what can you do? He really is just... And if I was to order this, S+. I think he's the very tippy top of it. Negate the big clash fall off. You could, but also why would you? Unless you're confident you're going to end the fight there and then on that next turn after you do that turn 1. It's tricky. Or an arrow run. That too. We've already talked about Thumb Sinclair. I'm not... This guy's a fucking fraud. Wait until Kanto 9, Season 7. Then the value is going to rise. Season 7, man is going to be in fucking S+. Mark my words. Until then, in fact, let me order this. Yeah, do not order this right now. You see the trailer. I've seen the trailer. I'm going to release that tomorrow. That's going to be fun. I do have some thoughts and theories and opinions. Yes, Heathcliff was the highlight of that trailer. Don't get me wrong. Let's get to the end of this, okay? Do we want to order this? Because I'm down to order it. In fact, I would say it's pretty ordered right now. I would be happy saying that. Maybe something like that. You know what? Yeah. I am happy doing that. No, you know what? No, I'd do that. Yeah. I think we do. I think Hanafuda Ish needs to go up top of S. You know what, Simon? Just because you asked really nicely. Go on, then. I'll let you do it. We crack up with the body horror a bit. Hell yeah. Alright. So, that's it. This is it. It's all numbered. It's all layered. There you go. My definitive, official Season 6 tier list of the IDs that came out. If you agree, cool. If you disagree, that is also cool. That is what the internet is for. So we can disagree, we can talk about this, we can all do whatever. Queenie down below, She-Faust is crazy. Yeah, okay, I'll admit, that's a little bit of a... I just think She-Faust is more fun. I don't know, B tier is the most contentious. I'd say B and A are like the most... It could be either way. Like, you could do it like this one day. You could do it like this. Depends what you're in the mood for. If you want to be carried by Tremor, then it's like something like this. Envy Res there. She's just really easy to play. Really simple. There was the Hung ID in S+, because without the Jesus, he's decently worse. Yes! There's no more after that. It's just yes. But then again, with the Lord of Hongyuan, I truly believe... If all you have is the Lord of Hongyuan and Malfaust, there's a reason they are both up tie forward, and those are the only ones that are up tie forward. Because that's really all you need. Like, what else can I say? But yeah, no, that's it. If you disagree, cool. If you agree, also cool. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch everybody in... I need to get this right this time. I will see everybody in Season 7, Kanto 9, where Ryoshu becomes the new Malfaust. Cool. Totally not because you were too poor to like, hey, don't expose me like that. Cut the video.